Looking for a prog rock album that blends symphonic grandeur with emotional depth? I have an album by BARCLAY JAMES Harvest that might just be the hidden gem that you've been missing. Stick around to find out why this overlooked classic deserves a spot in your collection. Today I'm taking a trip back to 1971 with once again the second studio album by the British prog rock band BARCLAY JAMES Harvest. Now, if you're new to the world of prog rock or haven't heard of BJH before, no worries, as this band might not be as well known as your Pink Floyds or Yeses, but they've got something really special, and once again is often considered one of their defining works. This album mixes symphonic rock with lush orchestral elements and that classy progressive feel. It's a real great entry point if you're looking for something different, but still accessible within the prog genre. Once again has this amazing flowing structure that blends beautiful melodies with deeper reflective themes. One of the standout tracks has got to be Mockingbird. This is a fan favourite that really encapsulates the album's sweeping orchestration. The strings and the choir-like harmonies really give it a grand, almost cinematic feel. It builds up slowly, but when it hits, it's one of those moments that leaves you in awe. Another key track is She Said. It's got this hypnotic groove and a mix of both mellow and psychedelic vibes. It's a great example of how BARCLAY JAMES Harvest balances their rock roots with orchestral experimentations. I hear a lot of melodic guitar work backed by these symphonic flourishes that gives the track real depth. Galadriel is another one I need to mention. It's a much softer, almost folk-like track that showcases the band's ability to switch moods. It's calming with really emotive vocals that feel intimate, offering a nice contrast to some of the bigger, more expansive tracks on the album. Now, this gives the album a very dynamic feel as it moves from one track to the next, keeping you engaged without feeling jarring. If there's one song of this album I want to highlight in more detail, it's definitely Mockingbird. Now, there's something magical about the way that this track unfolds. It starts off with a simple, almost, delicate melody, but it gradually builds into this epic orchestral piece. You've got soaring strings, these beautiful vocal harmonies, and even a bit of mellotron, which is like that trademark of early prog rock sound. Lyrically, it's a bit abstract, almost dreamlike, but that's part of the appeal. It invites you to interpret it in your own way. The production really shines here too, with layers of sound that build into this emotional crescendo. It's one of those tracks where the band's symphonic and rock elements come together perfectly. Now, to give you a little context on BARCLAY JAMES Harvest, they're part of that early wave of prog rock bands, but they've always been a bit more on the melodic symphonic side compared to some of their peers. Once again marked a step forward for the band, showcasing a more polished, orchestrated sound compared to their debut. This was also a period where many prog bands were pushing boundaries, and BARCLAY JAMES Harvest managed to carve out their own niche with this band of rock and orchestration. They were influenced by groups like the Moody Blues, and you can hear that on this album, but they still maintain their own identity throughout. So what do I think of Once Again? Well, first off, it's a really solid album for anyone getting into symphonic prog rock. The strengths here are definitely in the lush arrangements and emotional depth in the songs, particularly on the tracks like Mockingbird and She Said. The band really know how to create a sense of space and grandeur in their music without it feeling overblown or pretentious. However, if you're looking for something more on the experimental side of prog, like odd-time signatures or extended instrumental passages, you might find this album perhaps a bit tame in comparison to bands like King Crimson or Yes. There are also a few moments where the pacing drags a little, especially in the slower tracks, but honestly, that's a minor gripe considering how cohesive the album feels as a whole. Overall, I'd say it's an underrated gem within the genre and definitely worth checking out if you're new to BARCLAY JAMES Harvest or prog in general. Alright, so that's my take on Once Again by BARCLAY JAMES Harvest. Did I miss any key tracks or points that you think I should have mentioned? Well, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're enjoying these album reviews, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe so you don't miss out on future content. Up next, we're going to be diving into Yes Shows by Yes, another classic prog album that showcases a more live, energetic side of the genre. Stick around for that, and I'll see you in the next one.